Today I'll tell you about the movie Zillion. A socially awkward botanist opens the most popular nightclub with drugs and orgies. Based on true events, the film begins with a retrospective of the main character, Frank Verstraeten, the owner of the wildest nightclub Zillion. In a voiceover, the hero recounts that at the age of 27, he was wealthy and famous. The story flashes back to when Frank was just a short guy dealing counterfeit microchips from China. He smuggled them through customs as parts for a toy train set. Under the supervision of his mother Marlene, a strong-willed woman who successfully battled several types of cancer, the young man engaged in a legal business. Frank owes his character to her. The trading business starts in the family cafe. Salesmen call customers, and after TV advertising, Frank set up illegal supplies of components from the Far East. While Frank is dealing with counterfeit computers, another hero of the story, Dennis, is shooting porn. The videotapes on which the goods are distributed became outdated in the era of digital content. To keep up with the progress, Dennis turns to Frank for help. In exchange for digitizing the recordings, Dennis gives VIP tickets to the Care nightclub, which becomes a turning point. Grabbing a couple of friends, Frank heads to the party. However, despite having VIP tickets, the bouncers at the face control gate refuse to let the short guy and the botanists in, publicly humiliating the hero. The series of troubles continues with a tax agent Tackard, who is interested in the company's real accounting. After the tax agent leaves empty-handed, Marlene uses a slap on the wrist to encourage her son to find a way to launder the proceeds. Frank turns to Dennis to jointly create a scheme for laundering cash. In addition to his share, Frank sets conditions. The stylish porn king will take him to Care. With financial support from the IT dealer, Dennis shoots a bunch of movies in 6 months, earns money, and receives prestigious awards in the indecent industry. Celebrating, Frank tries ecstasy, washing down the drugs with alcohol in the limousine on the way to Care. With the help of a porn king, he is led into a cool club for the first time in his life. Inside, beautiful and sweaty bodies exude doses of sweat into the disco atmosphere. But Frank, who has joined in, is not angry, he is ecstatic. The tech-savvy hero notices that the outdated projector is not flashing in time with the beats. Then the ecstasy kicks in, and he starts to let loose, falling from the second floor right onto the merry crowd, which carries him like a rock star. In the midst of the frenzy, his gaze catches Vanessa, the holder of the Miss Belgium title, whom the hero immediately sets his sights on. When the security guards slow him down in front of the VIP lodge, the hero tells the owner that it's just a dive, nothing more than a cafe with garlands. The conflict ends with the drugged shorty politely being thrown onto the asphalt. After that, feeling insulted but in high spirits, he rams the entrance with his car. The owner himself politely beats him up in a hidden corner away from prying eyes, to which the hero laughs and asks to remember him well because he will show everyone. The humiliation drives Franco's intellect into overdrive. Soon he, along with his mom and Dennis, is scouting locations to open his own nightclub. His business partner expresses reasonable doubts, but Frank is relentless, convincing the pornographer to get involved. However, Agent Tackard has already seized the property of the computer sales company. The reason was the hero's connection with Dennis, who also had problems with accounting. Among other things, the ties to Frank's company, which was registered under his grandfather's name, are mentioned. The porn king himself did not betray his partner. Frank wants to buy a painting made by Tackard, but he understands that it's a bribe and principled refuses. Nevertheless, the tax authority bankrupted the company, froze the accounts, and Dennis was sentenced to a year in prison. Thanks to his sociable nature, he makes useful connections in prison. Frank finds out that his mom had been saving money from the revenue, which allows him to open the Zillion Club on October 16, 1997. According to the document signed by the mayor, it was not just a nightclub, but a multifunctional leisure center. By arranging loans and establishing international supplies, the technical genius creates a unique establishment with the latest technologies. Dennis's connections allowed inviting the entire city elite to the opening. Frank invites Vanessa to the opening. Her appearance frames a spectacular laser show with fireworks, personally controlled by the owner. The cacophony of sounds and colors impresses the sophisticated audience, allowing the hero to meet the girl of his dreams. He gives her a tour of the club, telling her that everything here will be amazing. He also distracts Vanessa from her father's hypercare. In response, the charming celebrity teaches him to dance in the light of spotlights and Bengal lights. The fun is interrupted by her father. He takes her away. Watching Vanessa leave on the street, Frank sees a group of young migrants in tracksuits bowling with the security at the entrance. The dispute turns into a nasty fight, becoming the true highlight of the evening. In the morning, the hero is awakened by his mom, who came to clean the new apartment while he swims in the human aquarium. In the afternoon, he picks Vanessa up from a photo shoot to enjoy a giant bungee jump in the car, after which he invites her to the club. Their meeting almost ends with a kiss. When Vanessa's father appears, threatening with a stapler, the man vaguely hints that his perfect daughter will not associate herself with a degenerate shorty. But the hero has a new ace up his sleeve. After his release, Dennis, whom Frank meets at the gate, hears from his partner about his duties at Zillion, while one of the ladies makes him happier. Dennis hires fellow inmates, angry Albanians who have been through 2 wars, seasoned criminals, and experienced fighters. They could become the best security out there. Frank takes his lover's father's unconditional consent to dance at his club. Kisses smoothly transition into interrogation. The girl wants to know how the hero bribed her father. He shows her compromising material, a tape of intercourse with Dennis's bribed actress. The home video arouses the girl, and soon they commit adultery on the floor. In the morning, Vanessa mistakes Marlene for a migrant cleaner. However, Marlene does not reveal herself, preferring to withdraw, nursing her grievance. Zillion becomes a fashionable and profitable place. In addition to revenue from visitors, Frank receives a percentage from the Albanian mafia, providing guests with prohibited substances and call girls. To launder these earnings, the hero devises new schemes for transferring money through banks worldwide. Local residents dislike the musical den nearby. They complain to the mayor, but to no avail. The politician won't touch a club whose GDP is equal to that of a small third-world country. Frank burns his life, drowning in luxury and fame, enjoying Vanessa's company, whom he introduced to his mom. His girlfriend gives him platform shoes to compensate for his short stature. They give him the opportunity to love his girlfriend standing up. However, new girlfriend provokes jealousy in his mother. She deliberately burns her hand on the gas stove to alienate her son from Vanessa. When he arrives, his mother expresses her displeasure with Frank's appearance, saying he has turned into a clown. This manipulation on the part of the mother had taken its toll. An insecure hero sees his girlfriend give phone number to a DJ, but he doesn't have time for a clarifying conversation. Outside, a police squad suddenly raids. While the Albanian thugs hold them off, the partners have time to dispose of the contraband and other evidence. Under the techno beat, a lively skirmish ensues reminiscent of the good old nightly brawls. Rolling out the speakers, Frank announces through the police megaphone that the party is still on, maintaining the positive mood of the gathered visitors outside. The Albanians, at the hero's personal request, beat up the DJ, sending him to the hospital. But as it turned out, the musician was the grandson of the Minister of Justice. Vanessa accuses the heroes of surveillance, admitting that she gave the DJ her friend's number whom he fancied. They quarrel with Frank. After this incident, the government became interested in Zillion. The club undergoes thorough inspections, and more visitors than allowed are turned away. The owner is dragged into court hearings, generously showered with fines. Former inmates are prohibited from working as bouncers, which displeases the Albanians. Tensions rise with Dennis's interest in the daughter of the eldest among them. In response, Frank announces parties with an erotic twist, which invariably turn into orgies. The gatherings take place anonymously and masked, so many politicians become regulars at these events. Much of what happens is wisely captured on camera just in case. Dismissed Albanians declare war on Zillion, hurling Molotov cocktails. To stand their ground, the hero trains the security guards in firearms, accusing Dennis of bringing in prison thugs. An attempt to negotiate leads to the Albanians breaking Dennis's right arm. Authorities elevate Agent Tackert, who once nabbed Frank. The hero has to study materials in the evenings to defend himself at the next court hearing. Vanessa listens to music, disrupting work. She conceals that she had a nosebleed during the photo shoot due to cocaine abuse. Frank's attempt to restrict use leads to another altercation, after which Vanessa appears naked in front of the lawyers. Agent Tackert makes a move with another important woman hero, interrogating his mother, praising Vanessa and the son's taste in girls. Mother warns Frank that the agent is smart and can put him behind bars, but he doesn't listen. Vanessa complains to Dennis about Frank, starting an explicit photo shoot. The hero appears on a talk show where his opponents are local residents unhappy with the noisy parties. In the evening, he looks at the cover with Vanessa naked, her return resulting in another scandal. Frank retrieves the hidden stash of coke, indirectly confirming that he was spying on the girl even at home. In a fit of anger, Vanessa searches the premises, finds hidden cameras, cuts all the wires she finds, depriving Franco of his secret eyes, and then heads to care. The hero follows her with a crowd of guards to retrieve her, but it all ends in another argument. Vanessa presses on the sore spot, calling him a shorty. The incident escalates into a fight with the owner, after which the hero takes the girl away as she gathers her things to leave. The woman is offended that Frank knows nothing about her, perceiving herself as an expensive fashionable accessory. The hero wants to lock Vanessa up, but Dennis intervenes. However, he has his own problems. The senior Albanian caught him with his daughter. Dennis has to run, leaving his signature glasses on the table. Criminal scum come to Frank with guns to find out about their business partner. The heroes meet in the parking lot to discuss the situation. Frank advises his friend to run far away, to which Dennis asks for ransom for helping with the business, but the cunning botanist does not acknowledge past merits. During dinner, two masked guys break into the hero's apartment, beat him up, and threaten him with guns, taking money from the safe. Marlon, along with police and journalists, arrives at the apartment, accusing Vanessa of aiding the robbers. In the heat of the moment, the hero proposes to the girl, to which she doesn't have time to answer before the club manager appears with news. A burnout car has has been found, and he resigns. Frank goes to the dump to inspect the car before the forensic experts. In the glove compartment, he finds Dennis's partially burnt key card, indicating his involvement in the robbery. Immediately, a security guard informs that he found the porn king, which Frank informs the Albanians about, and they visit the unlucky partner. Agent Tackert pays a visit to the hero with a recording of Vanessa's phone call with the owner of Care. They discuss revenge, for which the girl stole Dennis's key card. Realizing that he betrayed his only friend to murderers, the hero sheds a solitary tear. Tackert gives him an ultimatum: hand over all the black accounting or Vanessa goes to jail for organizing the robbery. Meanwhile, Marlon, who has figured everything out, argues with her future daughter-in-law, resulting in her head being slammed against the television. Frank rushes to the place where Dennis is being tortured, hoping to ransom him from the Albanians. At the former porn studio, he finds a camera with footage of the torture, but Dennis grabs a gun and escapes from the Albanians. The Albanians order the hero to leave, but at the exit, Dennis falls onto the car from above. The friends manage to escape, knocking down one of the villains as they go, but the situation is still not resolved. Dennis needs to hide from vengeful foreigners, taking some cash with him. He leaves, bidding farewell to the hero. Frank brings his mother to the hospital with a concussion, but that's not the worst part. She has another tumor. Standing by her room, the hero asks Vanessa an important question: will she marry him? Using the accumulated dirt, Frank prevents Agent Tackert from bringing a case against Vanessa. The issue with the Albanians is resolved by the police, who are called to the address where drugs were being packaged. Marlon listens to a report in the cafe about her son's engagement to the hated Vanessa. Among the mail, she finds Agent Tackert's business card and writes something resembling a code on it. It's a password to Frank's secret documentation, allowing the tax agent to dig up irrefutable evidence. Frank is taken away, leaving Vanessa far away, like an unattainable dream that appeared before him for the first time. In the cell where he serves his sentence, there hangs a painting by Tackert. He gave it to his defeated opponent as a reminder of his loss. While Frank languishes, Dennis is arrested in Prague for seducing a minor, and Vanessa, after careful consideration, decides to unilaterally break up with her impoverished fiancé. After Frank's release, he works in the family cafe and founds another trading company, from the profits of which he dutifully pays taxes, and the Zillion Club, at the peak of his commercial activity, is safely demolished. Here you can see a photo of the real Frank Verstraeten, who together with his partner Dennis Black founded the Zillion Club.